This should never have happened. The call to strike the first aid vehicle was a case of mistaken identity, the IDF has said. The drone pilot thought he saw a Hamas gunman getting into the World Central Kitchen car. He was wrong. The decision to then take out the second and the third vehicles was a grave mistake.
This tragic mistake could and should have been prevented. The strike on the aid vehicles is a grave mistake, stemming from serious operational failures, mistaken classification and identification, errors in decision-making, and strikes that were conducted in violation of standard operating procedures.
The investigation found that gunmen, presumed to be Hamas, arrived at the aid warehouse and one fired into the air to keep crowds away. However, none of them had travelled with World Central Kitchen in their vehicles. Seeing this, there were attempts made to reach the aid team on the ground to find out what was going on. This failed, and the charity branding on the roof of one of the cars wasn't visible to the drone pilots at night. Today, the IDF fired 2 officers and reprimanded senior commanders. No decision has been made yet on criminal charges. World Central Kitchen has described the Israeli apology as cold comfort, and the UN Secretary General blamed IDF discipline.
The essential problem is not who made the mistakes. It is the military strategy and procedures in place that allow for those mistakes to multiply time and time again.
A former Israeli general told us that this had been an isolated incident in months of fierce fighting.
Obviously, there was a terrible mistake that once done was followed up by more mistakes. You believe that this is a terrorist car, and the people who will come out from the terrorist car are terrorists, and then you follow them, and that's you keep making the same mistake.
The Israeli military says it does not deliberately target aid workers. Almost 200 are said to have been killed during the war, though, as well as thousands of Palestinian civilians.
These findings raise serious questions about the IDF's rules of engagement. The only reason that there was an investigation and the results are made public is because of the international outrage following the deaths of foreign aid workers. And so, how many other cases of mistaken identity have there been in 6 months of war in Gaza that have not been the subject of investigation?
Israel had insisted it couldn't reopen the Erez crossing into northern Gaza for aid after it was destroyed by Hamas on October the 7th. But under severe pressure following the attack on the aid convoy, it has said it will now be a new route for aid into Gaza, and Ashdod port will be able to receive ships. It's a very significant development and is expected to happen within days.
The real test is results. And that's what we're looking to see in the coming days and in the coming weeks. Is the aid effectively reaching people who need it?
Israel will hope that by letting more aid into Gaza, they will alleviate the pressure being put on them by Washington and others. Washington will hope that more aid into Gaza will alleviate the humanitarian crisis, and then the security conditions on the ground will improve. The killing of the 7 aid workers has proven to be another inflection point in this war. Alistair Bunkall, Sky News in Tel Aviv.